Haiti.
Yes.
And you actually transplant to
I transplant to people. I tell them whichever one.
Diana from
I'm from Haiti.
Haiti.
Yeah.
You know, it's interesting, right? I've been to Haiti in the 70s,
And
and man, when the night comes, we have beautiful, distinctive lady comes down out of the mountains like you all, and I was asking this guy, where were they during the day?
okay, but
So-
where are you from?
The Virgin Island.
Oh, yeah.
So
It's,
we do have a lot of nationalists that came from Haiti that came to the Virgin
oh,
Islands.
yeah, definitely.
So that I'm saying you do have a distinctive. You
Yeah.
remind me of one of those, right?
okay.
Who came out the mountain. Like I said, I was in the Navy there in the 70s, right? But when the night came, these. What makes it into? What commodity that attract people to come to the settlers to come to LJ?
I don't know that history.
Okay.
I don't know if anybody here would.
So what's in LJ today that you can tell me I should go and look for?
The historic downtown is really cool. We've got the historic downtown. There's a roundabout that's got the Christmas tree in the center. It's really cool to walk around down there, but I don't know what's open today. It's probably not going to be a lot open.
So when you say it's a preserved part of LJ that's historical, when it was founded and it exists down there as it is it a walking tour?
You can walk around. We've got a map out here.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Yes.
So is there a river that flows through LJ?
There's 3 rivers.
Was it?
There's 3 rivers.
What are they?
The Ellijay and the Cartacay flow together to make the Coosawattee.
Okay. Coming from one of the mountain? Or is it
Yes.
Tennessee mountain?
They're actually filled, but no, they're actually springs and other small streams make all the tributaries that come into the rivers. And
Okay.
then the rivers flow. The Ellijay and the Cartacay flow together right in town to make the Coosawattee, and then the Coosawattee flows to the Carter's Lake.
Son of the Coosawattee is an Indian name.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So what was the tribe that was here? Coosawattee?
I don't know. because-
Cherokee?
Well, Ellijay's Indian too, and there's White Path. Chief White Path was up at White Path. He
What's the
had-
white pie says?
White Path is north of town.
Okay.
It's about,
It's a mount. It's a hill.
no, it's just an area. It's just a little area. They named it White Path because Chief White Path had a house there back in the day.
Okay.
And you can't, there's really nothing left there. There's people that, the house is gone. It's been gone. But there is a marker up there on the side of the road.
So
on the side of
you
515.
still have indigenous Native American living in LJ?
Not really.
All of them were relocated.
I think so.
So I can't find a true indigenous person in LJ
I doubt it. But not Indian. Not Indian
Not
heritage.
Indian.
No.
dressed up like you and I.
Yes.
Well, I'm gonna tell you, I believe there is, because here was my misconception. I went to Arizona, right?
Yes.
And I have this misconception from most of us does, right? We project from a trajectory of what people will be looking like or living like when we go to the environment that we read about, right?
Yes.
So I'm now in Arizona, right? I'm looking for indigenous Native American in his gab. But that Native American was right next to me, dressed like me.
Yeah, and I've got my family has Indian in them. We've got the high cheekbones.
But
My
that's
family has
the
Indian.
point I'm trying to say, right? So when you just got it to me, right? So you said there's none of them around. So right away, what did I brought out of you?
Well, I've got it down the line. There's Indian in me.
You're
but
still
Yeah.
a representative, even though you've been diluted. You still
yeah.
have that DNA of that Native American that actually was here, dressed like you and I.
Have you been to Cherokee, North Carolina?
Of course,
Yeah.
of course.
They're definitely there.
I went there.
Yeah.
But the thing about Cherokee, North
The
Carolina.
river was like it had 3 and 4 class rapids.
You mean that the deepest lake in Georgia is not far from here?
Carter's Lake is right on the right. Yeah, I can give you directions there.
Yeah, because
But,
so I'm in the right place then.
Yeah, but they dammed up the they built the dam and dammed up the lake, and that stopped the flow of the river. Do you remember the movie Deliverance?
Yeah, Deliverance.
That movie was from the events that took place, some of the events on Coosawattee River.
Yeah.
It was shot on the Chattooga, but the movie was actually the guy that wrote the book and everything. It happened from events that were here on this river,
Oh, wow.
here in Ellijay, in Gilmore County, Coosawattee River.
Okay.
That's based on the Deliverance.
Okay.
It was the movie was shot on the Chattooga, but the actual events happened here. Before when they were building the dam.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna go to see this place in the chat word, and the name of the Indian name was Chief what?
It's Chief Van House.
Van House. Or was he the guy that had built the house, the mansion, and then after the Relocation Act was put in place, then they took his house?
They did Chief Whitepath as well.
Yeah.
They did him as well.
Yeah.
My understanding was he was told he could stay.
Yeah, because he was
and
fighting
then
a
they
battle.
made him leave as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I think
Yeah.
both of them they made leave, but the Chief
Yeah.
Van House is still, they preserved it.
Okay.
It's still, you can go see it.
Okay.
The Chief Whitepath, there's nothing
Yeah,
left of it.
and all those significant part of this area are still existing today.
There's a monument on
Yeah.
515.
Yeah.
On the 4 lane, there's a monument up there. It's about
It's
5 miles on the right from the Hardee's red light.
Okay.
So if you go north, if you
Yeah.
go left on 515 and go north,
Yeah.
about 5 miles on your right, you're going to
Yeah.
see a little pull off.
Yeah.
And there's
So
a
how
monument
long you
there.
living up here? All your life?
No, a pretty good while though.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, about 30 years.
Oh, so what have you seen change while
Oh,
you
when we moved here, there
Yeah.
was no highway.
no highway?
There was only Highway 5,
Yeah.
which is a 2-lane road. There was a Burger Hoff,
Yeah.
a Pizza Box,
Yeah.
and the Dairy Queen, which was called the Brazier back then.
Yeah.
So there was nothing here.
So your what's your name again?
Brenda.
Brenda, so you're a product of growth of this LJ.
Yeah, we actually live south of town in Whitestone,
Yeah.
and there's mines down there where they get the limestone.
You know, someone told me
marble.
that once upon a time there's gold found here.
Oh yeah.
And that's what
gold rush-
attract the settlers to come here.
The gold rush started in Dahlonega.
Yeah,
Yeah, and
Yeah.
you can tour that.
yeah.
And they still have a historic downtown.
Man, this fascinating. This place it has a lot
It's
to
a
really
beautiful-
extract out of it.
place. It's a beautiful place. And then
Yeah.
up on Fort Mountain,
Yeah.
there's also a little fort up there, and there's some Indians heritage up there, but I'm not sure
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
exactly.
Okay.
Well, but most everything here, from Altown to Conestoga, Coosawattee,
Mm-hmm.
Ellijay, it's all Native American.
How does Jasper and LJ connect?
Jasper is the marble capital of Georgia, like the pink marble and stuff.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
it comes from there, and there's marble from Jasper that's in Washington D.C.
Oh, that's who built like granite.
There's marble up there.
Granite is like
It's like
marble.
yes. There's a white looking marble, and then there's a pink marble, and the pink marble only comes from Pickens County.
Oh, I see.
That's their claim.
Yeah.
That's their claim.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, that's
And we're Gilmore County's the apple capital. We're also the mountain biking capital. Blue Ridge is the trout capital.
okay.
Pickens County is the marble capital of Georgia.
That's fascinating.
Yeah.
So you happy to be part of this
I
environment?
love it here. And the Appalachian Trail starts here.
Yeah.
It goes to Maine.
Uh-huh.
The Appalachian Trail. Yeah. We
Okay.
get a lot of people coming
Yeah.
in to hike the
Yeah,
trail.
yeah. It seemed like you're a person that actually. That's why I opened this conversation, because I have this knack of finding people who actually have a flavor of understanding the environment, and I can see the glow on your face when you begin to talk about because what happened now, right? Most people who don't have that interest in sharing the environment, they don't really. To share is to learn, and to share is to know.
Yes.
So when you start articulating about all these different places, I don't even have to go to the book.
I love it here. Now, I don't
You
know
understand?
exact dates and exact history,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
I do know something about the area, and
But
I love it here. I think
but
it's
you
beautiful.
understand your environment, and you traverse your environment, so you can illustrate to someone else that you come in contact with what's here. Like I would say to someone, right? What what actually transpired in this environment, right? And they will say to me, well, ain't nothing here. What I say, well, how you mean it's not nothing here? You here. Have you got out and explore your environment? No. Well, if you didn't do that,
Experience that.
you truly didn't live.
Right, right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
And
absolutely.
you like that.
Yeah. I like to
So-
get out and see stuff.
Yeah. Okay, I'll do those things, you know what I'm saying? I will do it. So what does Martin Luther King Day mean to you?
For me, it means like it's like a symbol of freedom from how far we've come, and now we're here and we're able to be equal, and it's kind of just like a celebration to me. We should all be happy, we should all be equal.
So what are you thankful for?
I'm thankful for my family, for my parents, my friends that support me and cherish me, the community that kind of raises me up and believes in me and kind of supports me,
Yeah.
and I'm thankful for my church family.
And I like the song you sang, Will Rise.
Thank you.
Was that inspirational?
It is.
Was it something that you felt?
Yes, because it's just like when you're down on yourself,
Yeah.
you can just have your community and you can have yourself to kind of pick you back up on your feet.
I was moved by it.
Thank you.
You're welcome. It mean to you?
I think it means that it's a celebration of the opportunities that we have now from his generation to now, how much he's paved the way for us.
So you?
And how much opportunities that we have are able to have.
So how will you participate in that dream?
I'm participating by marching and honoring him, and I'm going to a service this morning in honor of him as well.
Personal life, are you going to college or you
Yes, I'm going to the University of Georgia to plan on being a
Okay.
dermatologist and specialize in ethnic skin care and coaching.
So you live in a dream based on
Yeah.
participation. All right, thank you very much. All right.
Races, and to me, that's what Martin Luther King was about, bringing us all together.
Inclusiveness. Inclusiveness.
Absolutely.
So are you a product of Cobb County or you transplant?
Of Compton.
So you actually grew up in Cobb County.
Yeah, I came here as a teen.
So what have you seen happen, change that you thought you never would see happen?
This here,
Yeah.
like I just explained, the togetherness.
So you never envisioned that you would have been seeing this togetherness happen
Absolutely.
when you was growing up. Okay, so that's
We have come a long way.
a long way.
Thanks to
He's a representative of what?
Lemon Street High School.
Main Street High School.
Lemon Street.
Lemon Street in Marietta.
One down here.
Wow. So when you was going to school, did you had any dreams?
Plenty.
What were they?
To get a job.
You got a job?
Yeah.
You got education?
Retired. One day retired.
So you did it. Amen. You're looking down a lot. Are you part of a look down society? Are you part of the look down generation?
Oh no, I'm a publicist and I'm posting pictures on social media.
Go ahead and speak
Oh,
it
so
into
how are you
existence.
living a dream?
Huh?
How are you living a Martin Luther King
I'm
dream?
an entrepreneur, I'm self-employed,
Thank you to
and
Uh-huh.
Dr. Williams and the SCL.
Uh-huh.
Allow me to say a few words about why I am running for the school board. I am Patricia Eccles again, and I am running for school
So,
board
you're-
Ward 6.
you're a representative
I'm running
for-
in position because I know
How
I
does
can
that
make
how
an
did that name
impact
came about?
for the care and growth
The name
for our
Alpha Cal
children.
Puff.
Backup for the mayor. So,
You're the spokesperson for the man?
well, not really. He still has his role, but you always elect. It's almost like having a president or vice president. So if anything were to happen to the mayor, then I would step in on his behalf. So that's what we're
Oh, you're like the vice mayor.
vice mayor.
So what?
It's the easiest
Are you elected?
Well, I'm.
So how are you participating in his dream?
I think for myself, I try to participate every opportunity that I have to go out in the community and do things. I mentor now. Also on certain events or different days when I'm free, I'm able to go out and feed the homeless and less fortunate. Teach my children to also give instead of receiving all the time.
Okay.
So that's what it means to me.
Yeah, so you live in a dream.
I'm living a dream in terms of I'm able to provide for my children. I'm able to show them a different lifestyle. So I still have work in progress.
Yeah, but that's good. I'm inspired by a young millennium, right? Who actually want to do something, who contributed, and who realize that what someone have done for them in the past,
Right.
and then now in turn want to give back.
You have to pay it forward. I think life is bigger than yourself and bigger than doing things and in the superficial materialistic things. And to have meaning, you know, you got to be able to help other people out.
When you want to
You
get
transplant to Georgia.
From New York, yes.
From New York. What I'm saying this I'm doing a little piece called Small Town Georgia, right? And you know what I discover? Most of the people in Georgia are transplant. And a lot of them is from where? New York.
New York, yes. Most of them, my husband
Yeah.
is Trinidadian and
Yeah.
Venezuelan.
Yeah.
Come from New York. And
That's what I'm saying. Most of them are transplant from New York. What we call the Rust Belt plant, the Rust Belt state. And the reason why they told me to come here, because most people like to have a little piece of land and a house they can go back in the yard
Yes.
instead of an apartment building.
Exactly.
So what's your name?
Juice.
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 All right, Georgia a couple of times, and I was inspired by people who comes to Georgia. So I'm doing a little clip on small town Georgia. What inspired you to come to Georgia?
Oh, like actually when I was in Africa, I never planned to come to Georgia. I was supposed to go to Maryland and Baltimore for my cousin, to stay with my cousin. But because my cousin was pregnant, she could not do the favor to run around with me, like teaching me driving, all that. She complained and said, it's rather you come to Georgia. I said, okay, I had this other cousin in Georgia. So I called her, she said, oh, that's fine, you can come in to Georgia. Maybe when your paperwork came out, like the immigration sent your paperwork, I would just ask her to mail it to us. I said, okay, that is how I came to Georgia.
So what is it like living in small town Georgia?
Oh, yes. I think it is peaceful. The weather climate too is good compared to other states like New York, Baltimore. I visited Baltimore once. It was like quite cold, even though it was during the summer. So I'm like, is it how you go? I still suffering from cold. I said, oh yeah, we have, our climate is different from Georgia. I said, Georgia is quite warm, warmer than the Baltimore I went to.
So the climate is actually what attracts you to
Yes,
what a
I
beautiful
think
greenery and forests is.
Yes,
And
I think the climate attracts me.
Yeah.
Then when you come to see, I think it's a little bit of peace, but it all depends on the city where you are.
Yeah.
Like, I'm in Marietta and it's so peaceful and quiet.
So you live in small town Marietta.
Yes.
You know, I love to go down to the square there. You know, I got some beautiful foliage. Photos of actually Marietta downtown the square. It seems like it's a Mediterranean setting.
Yes.
When you go up there, it's always something happening, art show or something going on. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, and just to talk about the show, I just learned 2 days ago, like on Sunday, that Beyonce was in town in Georgia.
So you went to Beyonce
Yeah.
show.
After a while, but we could not because too much traffic.
So
We
she-
could not make it.
So she sang Lemonade?
Yeah.
She sang Lemonade?
Yeah, she sounds so good.
Yeah. So I noticed that you're an entrepreneur. You are aspired to actually participate in the free enterprise system. And so, what inspired you to actually get into a business?
Oh, yeah, that is what I studied in school. I'm a commercial student, and I have this dream and focus being a commercial, like do my own thing. I don't want to work under somebody tomorrow. The person will tell me you fired.
Okay.
So I love being independent. So that is why I came to Georgia. And before I tried to look for jobs like from the warehouse or that, but I find myself like I don't think that is where I'm supposed to be. let me go and do some grading. Maybe from there I can own my own shop. And I'm happy I went to that field and now I have 2 shops.
Give God the glory.
I give God the glory.
Yeah. So that's inspiring. It's an inspiring story because I've ran across a lot of different people that migrated. In fact, Georgia has one of the most transplant people. And the reason why they say they come to Georgia because Georgia offers a lot of opportunity. And it has an educated town. They have people who actually willing to step in and participate in the free enterprise system.
Yes, yes.
Yeah.
I think that is true because I came in, I started planning, I was moving with one lady they call Harriet. I moved like for 6 months under her business, but when I went, I was thinking like having a business license would take me forever, or it's a difficult tax, like you must go to school. But when I went to the COP license office and they asked me like, what type of business do you want to do? You're going into it? I said, I'm doing grading. They said, okay, are you a sole proprietor or partnership? I said, sole proprietor. Okay, so you can give us $108 and your license will be issued to you. I'm like, just like that, just like that. That was so amazing.
It's amazing how by stepping out, because you was hearing certain things, but you stepped out. And by you stepping out, you participated. Most people sit on the sideline and they say, you think I would like to do that, but they never step out.
Yes.
And guess what happened? We need to be inspiration for others because guess what? We have to let people know you step out. And once you step out, it's gonna work for you. And even if you fall down, you get back up.
It's true.
Yeah, yeah,
So I love Georgia.
yeah.
Being successful in Georgia, you must love the town. It's a small town, yes, I love it.
So you love small towns,
Yes.
small towns.
And I like
Yeah.
when things are not crowded. I don't like crowd, like I heard New York is so crowded, like I said, no. I need some space.
You know that's interesting because I love small towns too. Because I always go into big towns and escape from big towns and enjoy the ambient. I'm also a naturalist. I also do park service stuff, you know what I'm saying? And
I live here.
you live here? You grew up here?
Hell no.
Oh, you transplant.
Yes.
From
I am.
where?
I'm from Wilmington, Delaware.
Oh, I've been there.
And
It's
then
an
I lived in
interesting
Cali
place.
for 22 years.
And who?
California.
Oh, California. So you're a lady of the world.
Yeah, look.
I can tell. All right. So what's your name?
Ramona.
Ramona Leon from the Virgin Islands.
What's your name?
Leon
Gotta
from the
take
Virgin
up-
Islands.
Oh, okay.
Okay. See ya. Work.
Work, money, more money.
Yeah.
Because I was in Florida, so more money
Okay.
prompted me to come to Atlanta. Atlanta's a gateway to the South.
Okay.
So I figured coming to the gateway to the South, jobs would have been plentiful, money would have been more. So why not?
Okay.
And I came like 8 years ago and I made pretty good. I
Okay.
did pretty good. I do way better than what I was. So I'm doing pretty good.
Okay. So you transplant from the Virgin Island, and your name is Nilda Rivera. This is my home girl. And so tell me, what is it like living in small town Georgia? And I'm assuming you live in small town
Yeah, I live
Georgia.
here in Powder Springs.
Powder Spring.
I love it. You know the reason why? It reminds me a lot of home.
Yeah.
It's a small knit place. Everybody basically know everybody. The same way in the Virgin Islands, and I think that's why I'm here. Because everywhere I've been has been like broad, fast. Powder Springs, Georgia, slower. You know everybody. You become part of the neighborhood. You know, you become a face in the neighborhood.
Okay.
Versus being in a more bigger area where you're just
A number.
you're just 3490, whatever you live at. That's where you're at. In Powder Springs, it's more of a home base. More people are more in the north.
So have you connected to any other islanders here, St. Thomas people?
I have, but the most of them live out like in the Decatur area,
In Decatur.
the Cottage Park area,
Yeah.
stuff like that. They live. So I'm out here, so I don't really see a lot of them. But when I do,
Yeah.
I make it be known. Hey, where you from?
Yeah,
You
yeah,
know,
yeah,
I
yeah.
make it be known because the Virgin Islands really is kind of small for us to come up here and not help each other.
Right.
And that's my problem I feel with us. We don't help each other anymore. Like me, I'm in the restaurant business. I'm a general manager. You know how much jobs I can give to people?
Okay.
You know how much jobs I can hook people up with?
Okay.
I feel like instead of us being crabs in a barrel and trying to get to the top, no, let's not be that. Let's be helpful. Let's start grabbing each other. Okay, look, come stand next to me. Let me show you how to do this.
Okay.
And we need to do that because look how the younger generation is going. They don't have that sense of helping each other like when we grew up. We had Big Mama. Okay, with Mama working, you gotta go to Grandma's house and sit there until she. We don't have that. We have children raising children.
Right.
So.
You want to give a shout out to anybody special?
I would love to give a shout out to my whole family in the island.
Okay.
Hey guys, I'm doing it now.
You're doing it.
But just to all my islanders, keep your head up.
All right.
Keep your head up. It's a struggle, but guess what? There's people like me out here that are willing to help.
Right.
So keep your head up.
Second plate.
What is it referring to?
Huh?
What is it referring to?
Second plate. It's a buffet, so you get
Buffet?
second plate.
So you buffet. What kind of food?
We do Southern cuisine.
Southern cuisine. What is Southern cuisine?
Well, we have black eyed peas and lima beans, collard greens,
Collard green,
cheese, fried chicken, pork chops.
Oh.
So it's like it's a buffet with a twist because what we do is we actually service you. So
it's reasonable price?
$10.95
For all you can eat?
all you can eat, and you get dessert and a drink.
No kidding. I think I'm gonna check it out.
Yeah, so we're closed on Monday and Tuesday, but we open Wednesday through Sunday, and then we do brunch on Sunday.
Tell me, what's the meaning of this celebration? It means nothing.
On Mexico, over here is a big celebration. In Mexico, we do a little battle that they won with the Spain people. That was it.
Okay, so what does it mean over here?
Cinco de Mayo, party day.
Meaning what?
Time to celebrate.
Time to celebrate a victory of Santana victory over what? That's it? It was like a battle won by who? The Spaniards, Santana. And so this is a celebration of it. Okay. Why not? So when you was growing up, right, your ancestors, and you, what's your name, sir?
Oh, my name is Michael.
Michael, are you from small town, indigenous Powder Spring person?
Yeah.
When you was growing up, the seat of government was actually Cobb County, which is Marietta.
Yeah, this is us.
So the offspring from your ancestors after the Civil War was able to acquire land, 40 acres and a mule. And the purpose for that was to do what?
Well, you probably can the mule right there, though. You farm, you grow your fruit for yourself, or you might grow a lot of it yourself to the, like markets, someplace like that sort right there, though. And all this to survive, because back in that day, you sort of like had to, make your own food, but you couldn't go to town.
So technically, your family was not sharecroppers.
No, not in my time. It was a little bit, but not a whole lot. It was before my time, right there, really, though. So with my grandfather and his kids, they were more on that kind of sharecropping stuff right there. So we had some guy come by, a white guy come by in a little old truck. He would go around selling vegetables and stuff like that, and then he might come out and say, buy some vegetable stuff on the truck, and he just go around the place and selling stuff like that.
Oh.
But some folks done that kind of stuff right there, though, like that back in the day.
Valerie, and I enjoy small town Georgia because I'm from small town Mississippi. I had the opportunity upon graduation to migrate to California, which is a place that I spent a lot of time with. After I moved to California, of course, that wasn't for me, and I came back down south to Georgia, and there have been quite a bit of opportunities here for me. I have an opportunity to start businesses. I've been a part of quite a few businesses around. I like small town because you have an opportunity to get to know people. You get an opportunity to get involved within your community, which I think is very, very important. Once you get involved with your community, small town doesn't seem as small anymore. So being here in Georgia has been a great experience for me, and I just encourage anyone who is maybe in New York, because I found too being here, being that I was in sales at one point, outside sales, that a lot of people have migrated from the New Yorks up north and places like that to get back to basics, which is what it is here in Georgia. You're back to basics. You got the green trees, you got the grass, you got all 4 seasons, which I think is the most wonderful thing, where the winters aren't brutal and you don't have sunny days every day like you do in California. So to me, small town is great town.
All right, so a small town that you live in actually is Harum. Harum? Tell me about Harum. Here it was discovered, it was established in what year? 1891. And it's kind of a nice small town city. You have a beautiful park they call Benny Hill Park, and it's beautiful ducks, and that's where you take your family, right?
I did. Used to take my kids there all the time.
Yeah.
As a matter of fact, Hiram Park, my kids grew up from 5 years old playing football. My daughter cheered, so we spent a lot of time over there. Taylor Farm Park, going out there for basketball games, so because they also did basketball too. And the schools have been really, really good. At first it wasn't as diverse as we would have liked, but over the years it has become very diverse, and it's not as small town as we thought, although it is still small town because a lot of people, you see all the same people all the time, so that's kind of small town. But if you don't want to see them, you can just drive on down the street or go on into Atlanta. So that's like having the best of both worlds.
Oh, that's great, because you mentioned Atlanta. You know, I myself live in small town Georgia. I live in small town Powder Spring, and I love small town because you can always go into these big cities like Atlanta and actually participate in those activities there. And so yeah, I kind of feed what you're saying, because that's what I actually like myself too. Anyway, it's been a privilege talking to you.
Thank you. And if you're somewhere else and you want to get involved, even if you are in a large town, you should always get involved with your community to
church.
Make things happen. Not only just your church, but civic groups. Civic groups. I'm a part of the civic group here in Powder Springs, Georgia, where I run this computer shop, and we try to make a difference within our community, because I think that's where you have to start. You start out small and then branch out and kind of catches on. And so if you want to make change, there's an opportunity for you to make change within your community.
Right, Club E.
Yes.
What does it do? What about Club E? That's so exciting.
Entrepreneurship center.
Oh.
Yes.
And this is one of the main attractions?
40 years plus.
All right.
And I work for the city.
Okay.
I'm a community activist person.
Okay.
I also chair the historical African American History Committee.
Okay, yeah. So what is significant about African American establishment at College Park?
Awesome contribution to the city. As a matter of fact, this rail line was the dividing point from the early 1900s on up to recently, when they moved out this African American community. They moved out, they bought it out at a price tag they called progress.
Oh.
The airport bought it out to preserve space for retail. And
that reminds me of New Orleans. They did something like that in New Orleans too.
We'll have a barbecue pit on one end, but you have a art gallery on the other end. And so we have a very diverse community. So that's why I thought of you, because I love the fact that you basically covered so many different genres of music, and I think that that would be awesome. Okay. I will. As I was saying, so this is of course, this is the train depot.
Okay.
It's owned by CSX, but we utilize it. They actually gave it to the city of College Park for us to utilize. So it's actually the office that houses myself, the Main Street manager, and Iris Baxter, and the economic development for Main Street.
Okay.
So basically, I'm responsible for merchants on the Main Street, revitalization of Main Street, beautification of Main Street, and the design of Main Street.
Okay.
So
what can you tell me historically about College Park?
Historically, I don't have all the history like that yet. Like I said, I just got here 3 weeks ago, so I don't have dates and all.
So what's your goal for College Park? That's
goal?
That's what I want to
Okay,
have.
well, my goal for College Park is
tell
that College Park is a wonderful melting pot.
Yeah.
As I was just talking to the gentleman on the phone, that
Okay.
it's a diverse community. There's so much to offer here. We sit right in the middle of, you know, right before going to downtown. We're right near the busiest airport there is, and we have such diversity in the community.
Yeah.
And so one of the things that I think is great is that we're right here. We have College Park Main Street. I want when people get off or on that train, I want people to be able to look through the window and go, wait a minute, I need to get off at this stop, even if that's not where they intended to get off.
Right.
Because I want there to be so much busyness going on. I want to see that old style with a Main Street.
Small town, Georgia, what it used to be.
Show up,
Yeah.
they're walking down the streets with their children in the evening, getting ice cream, or just meeting with friends to talk or read or whatever. And Main Street can be that. And right now we're in that kind of like that new birth stage, and we're going through those labor pains. But I'm so excited about what Main Street is. Mom and Dad, though, are born and raised in Charleston, South Carolina. And so that's my history, really. Every summer of my life, even though I grew up in New York, every summer I spent my summers in Charleston.
I live in College Park.
You are?
What is it like living in College Park?
I don't live around College Park.
But doing business in College Park?
Around this area, you know, it's still a little bit, you know, on the slow side.
Okay.
It's not very, very
So what inspired you to come to College Park?
well. I think because it was, you know, we noticed that we didn't have this kind of market around here.
Yeah.
So we thought you have to, you know, drive far before you can get, you know, this kind of groceries. So that's why we decided to come.
Oh, so you kind of like found a niche to supply your customers with since it was not available. All right, so that young lady over there, she's shy. What's her name? Yeah. So I have my wife here in the presence of Eugene shop, and how you doing? And I have Eugene, beautiful friends here. And what's the name of this store? Atlanta Beauty Depot. All right. And I have Eugene, right? My man, Eugene.
This is Utah.
Huh?
This is
Okay, Utah. It's amazing. Utah. You guys planned that?
Utah and Eugene.
Yeah. So how you guys met? I mean, I've been a while from high school. Yeah, because you all know, Liston, right? I know, I just... Yeah. Yeah.
Before you and before, you know, your brother.
Right. So you all hang out in school together. Yeah.
Remember his restaurant? You guys ever been to his
Yeah.
restaurant? Is that Apple?
You all never did Apple?
Yeah.
Yeah. So you put on your hat, man. I want to see your bald head. Eugene, I got you. Yeah, okay. So it's been a... So tell me about this beautiful island that you actually grew up on. Yeah, just tell me about it. Give me a synopsis about this beautiful island you grew up on.
A lot go into it.
Well, what is it like growing up there when you was growing up?
It was really, you know,
hot.
Yeah.
Sometimes you wear the shoes, you know.
Tropical, yeah.
Very nice, a lot of fruits.
A lot of fruits, okay. You used to like to swim a lot.
A lot of swimming.
Okay, all right. That's good. We got it, yeah. All right.
After that, we play some steel band music.
Steel band music in Utah.
Yes.
The state. So who named you? Who named you? He know the state that named Utah?
I never been to the state of Utah. I would like to go there.
That's amazing that he named you Utah and it was way up in the United States and he didn't. Oh wow. Yeah. Yeah. Okay.
Okay.
So let me go meet his son. What's his son? Yeah. Oh, he in the back. Hey, man, I'm doing my introductory and you're what?
Say it again?
I'm capturing a moment, yeah, of friends that I met here and you know, so your name is?
My name is Corey Robinson.
Corey Robinson,
Yes,
and
sir.
you know,
That's my father.
father,
And my mother.
Utah and Eugene.
Robinson. Yes,
Yeah,
sir.
from the beautiful island of Tortola.
Tortola.
And I'm from next door, Joost van Dyke, but migrated to St. Thomas.
Okay.
So I left there when I was kind of like a little baby, and I went over to St. Thomas, so that's where I grew up. So I'm familiar. You know what I'm saying?
You know.
Yeah, I know. All right, my man.
You take care.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay, you go to high school here?
Try to introduce him to all we know we get lost out there. We'll try to have the capital try to
This is a good time to do it.
pass it on.
What's your school doing? Anything in particular?
Black history.
Matching on its kind of basis. I will give you X number of dollars. If the African American community can come up with X number of dollars. And in addition to that, I must have at least 2.5 acres of land for it to be built on. So, the Fitzgeralds, and you're not familiar, but if you were to ride around Pearl, you will see a street is named after the Fitzgeralds. They donated about 2.5 but 3 acres of land. And keep in mind, this was prime property. 92 did not exist as you see it now. Prime property and donated. And what parents did to raise them.
I love
small town living.
why?
Because it's community. And I feel like any place you live, you should have a sense of community. There should be cohesiveness. There should be a sense of safety. There should be a sense of familiarity. And one of the things I love about getting out of my car on Main Street every morning is that there's always someone to say good morning to me. There's always someone waving at me and I'm waving at them. When I walk down the street, I don't have an opportunity to not speak or not wave. I want my arm to be tired as I walk down the street saying hello and good afternoon.
Now go ahead, just give me it's nice and clear now.
Yeah, what is it?
This is Club E,
Yeah.
which is an entrepreneurship center
Okay.
located downtown College Park.
Okay.
And this is one of the main attractions for me.
Okay.
Of course, there are a lot of wonderful people that live here in College Park, but this is one of the main attractions for me.
And we on Main Street, College Park.
This is Main Street College Park.
All right. And what's historical about it?
Well, there are a lot of historical things in College Park, but I really wouldn't be able to list them all because I don't have them.
Out the top of your head.
Right, I don't have them on the top of my head.
What famous person came out of College Park?
Creflo Dollar.
Okay. Oh, the guy for the church.
Yes, World Changers Ministry.
Okay. All right. Okay.
That's
Okay.
just one, as I said.
Yeah. Okay. So I'm on the Main Street talking to Elaine.
Mary Wilson.
Mary Wilson. Oh, Mary Wilson. Are you the Supreme?
Different families
Yeah.
that were influential in developing this area.
Okay.
But Robert Mabel, who came down, his family was about to be exiled from Scotland.
From Scotland.
Right.
English Isles.
He hunted rabbit
Okay.
on the king's land.
So technically, this is the descendants of inhabitants of Mableton came from the English descendants, and more or less they established this part called Mableton.
Right.
So the house across the street, the wooden structure, is actually the house where Mr. Mableton first settled
Right.
and found the town of Mableton. Okay, and
I
this
have
is
some paperwork.
yeah, and this is just the art center
Right.
that I'm sitting in. And actually, when was it established?
The art center or
No, the
Mabel House?
Mableton, yeah.
Mabel House was built in 1846.
1846, just a little bit before the Civil War.
It was actually used as a
Headquarters?
resting spot, almost like as a clinic or a hospital for some of the soldiers.
Oh, for some of the battle campaign for Atlanta.
That went through. They actually stayed.
Oh, I see what you're saying. So it never became it become part of Cobb County, but not a town in Cobb County.
It was at one point in the early 1900s.
And then it separated into.
Right. Well, they were separately a town,
Yeah.
but there was a great flood, and they didn't have the money to be able to pay for the repaving and the roads.
Oh, a great
So-
flood of what?
so
1800?
They emerged back into Cobb County to be able to get the sufficient funds to be able to rebuild the roads.
Oh, so what you?
They never got, so now they're unincorporated. They weren't able
So
to sustain their
you're telling me that Mableton was not part of Cobb County all the time.
Well, it was part of Cobb County, but it, kind of like how you have Smyrna as its own governing entity.
Yeah.
Mableton used to have its own governing
Okay.
body, but they absorbed into Cobb County
Okay.
and lost their
The status.
right.
Okay, like their own mayor status.
Right.
Oh. It's
So it used
interesting.
to be like Marietta and Smyrna.
Yeah. Because when I say historical Mableton, I was looking for like a city
It was at one point early.
that was that seen the structures.
Right.
You drive through like say Woodstock, Marietta, then you see like structures that's symbolic of that era.
Right.
So that's what is any place here like that?
I would say going down Clay Road through, coming back out Veterans Memorial, where the school is and the cemetery there.
Yeah.
That's, the library. There's kind of a niche, and we're on the outer edge of that. But
Okay.
That kind of is that.
Oh, so that's where the skirmish took place, like the actually Union soldiers and the Confederate soldiers fought on that ground up there we call Mableton.
So there's different markers, yeah, and there's one right
Okay,
there
I'll
outside
go
the
over there
house.
and check it out. Well,
And you
appreciate
can-
it.
Yeah.
What's your name anyway?
Vanita.
Vanita? Oh, nice. From Georgian?
Not originally, no.
Oh, you're transplant.
Yes.
Okay, well, there's nothing wrong with that. Transplant from where?
Originally India, but
Yeah.
lived different places in the States.
Well, I am transplanted to live a lot of different places. I'm from Virgin Island. So, most of Georgians are transplant.
They
So,
are.
okay.
Yes.
All right, thank you.
You're welcome.
All right. Go ahead.
And his name was Francis Bartow, and he knew that the state was looking for a railroad route from Atlanta to the Tennessee River.
Okay.
And so he started doing some land speculations and was buying various properties that might be suitable for train depots.
Okay.
And so Cartersville just happened to be one of those locations. And the Cherokee Indians were living up here at the time.
Mhm.
So after 1838, when the Cherokee Indians were moved out, and this became a hamlet and grew
Okay.
into a town, then the Civil War came, and our county seat was 7 miles north of here, and it got destroyed. So after the county seat,
What's the name of the city?
Cassville,
Cassville.
and it's a community still, but it never did come back as a town.
Okay.
And so after the Civil War, the county took a vote as to where to reestablish the county seat.
Okay.
And they wanted it on the railroad line. And so Cartersville won that election. And so that is where we went from a hamlet to a town to what you see now.
So why does it have the flavor of a cowboy town? Like a frontier.
Well, only because we have the Western Art Museum, maybe, but I don't think most people feel that way. So that's kind of interesting that you do.
Yeah, when I drive up here, it seems like you come into a typical depot where cowboys actually connect after they finish rounding up the cattle.
Yeah, no, we were never famous for cattle ranching here. We were really good for farming, but it was cotton and corn and sugar cane and stuff like that.
So what's the commodity that contribute to the growth of Carterville?
After the war, it would have been the carpet industry.
No, before the war.
Before the war, it was farming.
The commodity was what?
Oh, it was cotton and corn.
And corn.
Those are the big ones.
Okay, that's what I'm looking for. So today, are there any diversification of Carterville since those industries no longer available?
Well, the cotton industry turned into cotton mills.
Okay.
And we did have 2 cotton mills in the county. And then that has transformed into the carpet industry.
Oh, so where is the cotton mills?
Well, the one that you could go visit now is the Atco Village Mill. And it's abandoned and it's been torn, parts of it have been torn down, but there is a good chunk of it, and the water tower is still there, the village is still there, and people still live in the homes at the village.
Okay, so what is the Black American contribution to Carterville besides picking cotton and sugarcane and corn? After the war, how did it help Carterville grow as a inclusive society?
Cartersville's always been somewhat inclusive. We have a display upstairs where we have done oral histories with some of the citizens of the community, and a few of them are African Americans that are on our video, and they will tell you that Cartersville was never your typical southern town where blacks lived on one side and whites lived on the other. They've always been kind of commingled, and so we've always had black leaders, we've always had black business owners as far as when they could own businesses, you know?
So there was no, so everyone had opportunity to share within that free enterprise system with no stumbling block.
From what I understand, yes. And Cartersville is very proud to have the first African American state Supreme Court justice.
Okay, who was that?
Clarence Benham, if I'm getting his name right.
Clarence. Nowadays,
yes.
Only it's a guy named Clarence Thomas.
But Benham is the state, Georgia State Supreme Court
Supreme
justice.
Court.
Yes.
Okay, I see what you're saying. So, that's interesting because as I go through small town Georgia, I'm trying to find out how they emerge as a city and how inclusive they were or exclusive. And what I discover is that an exclusive city, when I run into it, it becomes like historically dead as a doornail. And after I research it and I get in depth, I discover why. So, tell me about this. Tell me about the museum. No. Tell me.
Seven Springs Museum.
Go wrong. Tell me about it.
Oh.
Tell me about the place. Go ahead, like you're talking to someone. Go ahead. Go ahead.
Miss, what's your name again?
Leon.
Mr. Lee. Why you gonna put me on the spot like that?
Because that's impromptu. Come on.
No.
Go. Remember what I told you I was coming back? This is Seven Spring Museum located in Powder Spring. And it's exhibit of all the artifacts that Powder Spring, development founders initiated.
Okay.
And this is their display room.
This is the Seven Springs Museum.
Right.
Powder Springs is older than Atlanta.
Yeah.
Come into our museum.
Okay.
In Powder Springs, we have Civil War history, and we have some Indian history. There was at least 16 generals here at one time. There was not a war here, but there was a lot of fetish here, where they were fighting over territory or property. There was the railroad here that came directly into town, that you could get goods off the train that was transported. Also, there were 7 springs here, 7 main springs here in the museum. And they supplied water to the residents.
Okay. How did Powder Spring get its name?
Powder Springs got its name from a toss-up between the Indians, who were the early settlers, some of the first people here, and the early settlers came in. The Indians wanted to name it Gunpowder Springs because when you get water from the springs, when it dried up, it looks like there was gunpowder residue in the bottom. And the early settlers wanted to name it Springville. So the toss-up was between Gunpowder Springs and Springville, so we became Powder Springs.
Okay, that's interesting. So how does the Civil War, what role did the Civil War play in Sherman march to the sea in Powder Spring?
He didn't directly come through Powder Springs, but he came as close as Kennesaw Mountain.
Okay, so
this is one of our neighboring towns.
Okay, so in actuality, Sherman, in his quest to capture Atlanta, didn't come true. There was no opposition of the Confederate force in Powder Spring.
No, but they had some campouts here.
So there was any battle fought here?
No, sir, no battles. Just a little bit of territory. A lot of people wanted the water here. The train came through here.
Oh,
supplies and things of that nature.
So they stopped in here for supply,
right?
But there was no opposition,
right?
Well, there's a place. If you're going up on Powder Spring Road, going towards Marietta, maybe that's Marietta. It's a national park there that symbolizes skimmics that took place there, and where there's a house there.
The
Shaney
House.
Yeah, is that part of Powder Spring?
No, sir, that's not. That's part of Marietta.
Oh, part of Marietta.
Mm-hmm. We have a picture of the Shaney House here.
Yeah. It's over here.
Is that the one you're talking about? The first picture here?
No, it's the Coles Farm.
Oh, right.
The Coles Farm.
Cheatham Hill.
The Coles Farm.
Okay.
Right there in Powder Spring Road.
No, that's still not. That's not a part of Powder Springs.
Okay.
City.
So these are actually some furnitures from back in the day, or not furniture, but pottery from back in the day.
I don't have a history of any of these, but they just some donations that people have donated over the years.
Mm-hmm.
One of them has a map of Georgia on it, and I think it was one in here related to McEachern High School.
Oh.
But just some old, some pottery
Mm-hmm.
that people have donated over the years. This is the only, these two appear the only significant ones.
Mm-hmm.
This oil lamp is over 150 years old.
Mm.
And it was donated by the Moon family.
Oh, the Moons! I saw a graveyard up there with the Moons. The Moon family was a fixture, significant fixture in this community.
Right.
So
there's the Moon Road named after that family. Also.
Oh, so
a lot of the roads in Powder Springs are named after significant families.
Oh, I see. So Julia, are you indigenous of Georgia, or which part of Georgia are you from?
I'm from Marietta.
Your family actually one of the settlers in Marietta?
We just, I was born in Marietta.
Okay, so you consider yourself indigenous in Marietta.
Mm-hmm.
So what was it like growing up in Marietta?
Marietta was a good town. I remember growing up with, I had several sisters and brothers, 3 sisters and 3 brothers, and both my parents. We grew up in the projects,
Mm-hmm.
but I think it was because it was so many of us.
Yeah.
And my mama always instilled in us about education
Mm-hmm.
and trying to get ahead, and she did that for herself and for her
Mm-hmm.
kids.
So you came from a large family. I see. So, and you guys actually migrated outside of Marietta? Any of the family members?
All my family is still here.
They didn't go nowhere?
No.
No kidding.
No.
None of them venture out to no part of the states, no part of the other country.
No.
They just.
I'm thinking about doing that.
That's unusual. That's unusual for a family to grow up and just stay in one particular area and never venture out and say, my sister's living in California, I'm going to visit her. Or my sister's living in Germany, I'm going to visit her. No such thing.
All my sisters and brothers are local.
So your mom and dad didn't inspire that adventure spirit. It's just like get your education and prepare yourself.
Try to do your best.
Yeah.
And be somebody. No, all my family is local.
So have you ever traveled to Powder Spring when you was growing up?
No, my mother talked about coming to Powder Springs when she was younger.
Mm-hmm.
They used to have family reunions at the park.
Okay.
Down on Brownsville Road where the pavilion is. There's a
Yeah, I know it. The picture, Brownsville Road.
There's a park there. The pavilion is inside the park.
Oh.
That's one of the oldest edifice here in Powder Springs. We've been told that it was built by settlers and their slaves.
Okay.
And the county is gonna, since they own the park, they're gonna redo it and try to put it back to its original state.
Oh, I see. Okay. So so you said, and that's strange. Powder Spring was a small town down from Marietta, and you never traversed to Powder Spring or Austell or Kennesaw.
Just briefly, like if we went to a baseball game, I remember growing up that Powder Springs had a good baseball team.
Yeah, it was competition.
Right.
Yeah.
So I remember some of the games and some of the outings that.
So you came to Powder Spring during this time.
I remember the baseball team coming to Marietta.
Okay.
I don't remember
coming to Powder Springs. So you just participated in it when it came to Marietta,
right?
But you didn't actually went to the other locality. Yeah. That's inspiring. So you actually, I would say you was motivated to participate in sport, but you wasn't mindset on going outside the immediate environment.
Right.
Oh, you had a strict family then. Your mom really.
Oh yeah, well they was.
Yeah, that's what it was.
Plus, I was the oldest girl.
Yeah, I think she was.
I was. They were more strict on me than the other kids.
Yeah, my one of my relatives told me this that they grew up in say Illinois, and someone else grew up in say Alabama, and their parents insist that they do not traverse outside a certain circumference, because during that time in which it was growing up, most of their sisters and brothers was being snatched.
Oh, okay.
And so you think that's one of the reasons why your parents, when I say snatch, there was a lot of ugly stuff taking place then. So they used to actually.
I don't remember being threatened to be snatched. I just know that my parents wanted the best for us, and they didn't want us entangled in a lot of negativity.
Right. That's good. So how this building here that you actually are the creator over, what's fascinating about it that makes you want to actually present it to the public?
I like history. I like the environment of Powder Springs. I moved here back in 1992, and what drew my mama used to ask me, "How did you find this place?" Because it was down the street and down a dead end and stuff. And I told her I like it because it was still peace and quiet. It's still, you can go down the street and find a farm, and then you can go down another street and find thousands of dollar homes. You had the two in one. And I used to love the railroad because the railroad reminded me of spending the night with my grandmothers. And both of them lived near railroad tracks. So
Right.
when I hear that train, it reminded me a lot about spending the night at my grandparents' home as a kid.
So I see. So you actually love small town Georgia.
Not too busy
Yeah, you
and not too
yeah,
slow.
you like small town. So tell me, it's a street in Powder Spring called Butner Street. Are you familiar with that street?
Butner, yes.
What's significant about it?
It was named after the Butner family. They owned a grocery store here in Powder Springs.
Yeah.
And I think we have one of his diplomas on the wall here.
Okay.
And I think they were owner of this house.
Okay. You know, I'm talking about John Butler. I'm talking about the Butler Street that's located off Atlanta Road in Powder Spring.
Butner. It's Butner.
Yeah, that same guy, Butner.
Uh-huh.
Oh, someone told me as I traversed Powder Spring that Butner Street came into existence because one of the daughters of Mr. Butner, he decided that she decided she wants to embark on building homes for free African American who need some place to stay. So they actually build those homes on Butner Road, and that's where most of the African American reside because of her initiative to provide affordable homes for the blacks people on Butner Road. So Butner Road is a significant historical road as a symbolic for resident in Powder Spring. So I can see why Mr. Butler raised such a beautiful, nice daughter that was actually looking out for their own citizen.
That's interesting because
Yeah,
I didn't know that.
yeah,
So
yeah.
I'm learning from you also.
Yeah, yeah.
And see, Mr. McEachern did that also.
Yeah, yeah.
He provided insurance
Mhm.
to the black families.
Okay.
So that was what I've heard. That's one of the initiatives that he started also.
Okay, I see.
Yeah.
So we're now in 2016 in Powder Spring, Georgia. I'm actually in the presence of Julia, and Julia is one of the curator of this Powder Spring Museum. The museum itself is a fascinating place. It's like walking down history. And I'm going to take this opportunity to traverse the area and capture as much as I can capture from a still photographer perspective and add to this story. But it was a pleasant opportunity talking to Julia as she exhibit all she knew about this magnificent Powder Spring Museum. And she actually became a resident of Powder Spring. That's interesting. Move all the way from Marietta.
All the way down the street from Marietta.
During the Civil War, serving both Confederate and Union soldiers. When Sherman marched through Marietta on his way to Atlanta, the fourth floor, which was the morgue, was burned. So now there are only 3 floors, they never repeated it again. Over here behind the red coat is the James Andrews room. He's the gentleman that tried to steal a locomotive called the General to cut off supplies into Atlanta during the Civil War. This is more Marietta general history, some things you may remember, like your telephone booth, things like that. Over here to your right is the military wing, everything from Desert Storm down to the Civil War. There's a 1940s kitchen, and there's a special exhibit on baby boomer toys. Also a special exhibit over here on clothing and where you bought them on Main Street before the malls came into fashion. So if you have any questions,